In today's episode, we're going to be transforming everything you see behind me. We're going to be building custom trees, we're going to be doing all the paths and stuff, we're going to be decorating the area and just making it feel more homely. I've also been oxidizing some copper, so I'm still waiting for some of these to transform. Why are these not turning? Okay, never mind. Let's jump straight into a time lapse because we've got a lot to do today, and let's get started on working on stuff because we've got a lot to do. So in this time lapse you're seeing on screen, I spent hours, and I mean hours, just mining dirt because I was running low in the dirt department. And after all the terraforming that I did a couple of episodes ago, I know there's tons more terraforming and custom terrain that I want to be building. So I decided to just go out and grab as much dirt as I can, so I shouldn't have to break off midway through terraforming to go and collect some more. So I just spent as much time as I could collecting as much dirt as possible, and this is what we ended up with. So looking at the dirt chest right here, this is all the stuff that we've got. If I hold shift over all of these, we've got shulker tooltips enabled. We can see all these shulker boxes are filled with dirt, so we shouldn't need any more anytime soon. I also went out to the flower forest that I usually use to collect the flowers, and I made the decision to chop down as many trees as I could so I could then build myself some flower farms because I want to start using more flowers in this world. I don't think I use enough, so that is exactly why we did it. And I don't ever want to run out of dyes again. The flower farms are done. As you can see here, I've got different flower farms dotted around the place so we could collect as many as we could from the flower forest. This one is cornflowers and daisies. Then we've got alliums and azure bluettes. Then we've got white and pink tulips, white and orange tulips, and then finally the red tulips. There's a bit of a bug in 1.19, or at least I think it's a bug. For some weird reason, when I built the one for the lily of the valleys, it produces me white tulips. I'm not entirely sure why. Apparently they're supposed to still be a part of the flower map. From what I've read, that could be wrong, I don't know, but I can't make one for those at the moment. They seem to be pretty rare. Get it? Pretty rare? Because flowers are pretty? Never mind, don't worry, it's a bad joke. Before we get started on working on today's episode, have you checked the subscribe button? Because there's a lot of you that watch this series that aren't subscribed to the channel, so I would greatly appreciate it if you could slap that subscribe button, and even if you want to like the video, that'd be greatly appreciated as well. It helps out a ton. I want your opinion on something as well. I am considering sticking using this texture pack in the series. I've got Whip's texture pack on, so I've got all the custom flower textures and stuff. And there's one that I've merged into the texture pack, which is the note blocks as crates. And as I change the tone of the note block, it changes the texture. Let me know what you guys want me to do, because I'm not sure if I should stick with this or not. I think it's a really cool addition, but I mean, you guys might want me to just use the vanilla textures in this series, and if that's the case, I'll take it off. Okay, so I've got an entire plan of what we're going to do today. Every single one of these blank spaces is going to contain something. The question is, what is it? Just for your information, I've got some of them listed here. You can pause the video and read this at some time if you want. That is entirely your call. But now I'm going to mark out with signs what I want to place and where, just so you guys can follow along. This space, we're going to have flower gardens. Around the super smelter, we're going to have coal and log piles. Outside my starter house, we're going to have a bench and a lamppost. I just realized I went in full screen. Oops. Market stalls, flower and pumpkin patch. We're going to finish detailing this building. Just fix this, it's ugly, which it is. We're going to put flowers here. You guys get the idea what we're doing here. So let's get started on doing all the little details and getting all the blank spaces filled in. To start this time lapse off, I decided to go for 2 flower gardens, both on different Y levels to add that little bit of interest. And then I decided to go over to the super smelter and start adding those little bit of extra details outside the smelter that makes sense. Alright, we are done, and I did a bit after the time lapse, and let's take a look at some of this in shaders then. Look at all the detail I've put into this. I wanted to make it look like an overgrown area, hence the trees, so I've got some scattered leaves, some hidden lighting, some of them under the leaves, and some lanterns scattered around. Got some flowers, got some pumpkins, got some practically everything. Got some flowers in here, and then we have what you guys saw on the time lapse. I'm pretty sure I did this on time lapse, did I? I can't remember now. It was like 3 hours ago. But yeah, we've got the flowers in, so we've got the blue orchids over there, and then the lilacs here. I feel like it looks really good. And I've actually since installed this little ladder here because there was no way to get in and out of this area if I wanted to like farm flowers, so to speak. So we've just installed that in there. It looks really, really good. We've got the logs there, of course, to symbolize the smelting. We've got the coal patches. We've got I've actually textured the leaves. I'm not entirely keen on the spruce with a birch, but it's the best leaf I could find that looked okay with birch. I need to do the top of that as well. Haven't got any on me at the moment. And then we've just got this little patch here. So far, looking really good. There is so much that I want to do, and I feel like I've bit off more than I could chew, because I'm going to have to do all of that near enough. Not the same stuff, but like the amount of work that's gone into this around these other blank spots as well. And that's took me all morning, near enough, to record all of that and record the start of this episode. So yeah, probably bit off more than I can chew, but we're just going to keep going and see how far we can get. Next up, I want to focus on this area, and that is what we're going to do right now in this time lapse. Starting off this time lapse here, I've decided to try and texture the land and flatten it out a little bit, add a little bit more logs outside the smelter, give that little bit of a mossy vibe, and then we started building our first custom tree. And I wanted this one to be a little bit smaller than the other, just because I know I wanted to have a big tree in the corner, which is what you're seeing me build on screen right now. Trying to make it as fluffed up as I possibly can, adding that little bit of detail to the bottom of the trunk. And I feel like using the stairs and stuff on the trees went really, really well together. And I was like, okay, what would this area need now on top of the trees? So I decided to go to my 2 tall flower farms to try and get some of the flowers and then decorate the area even more. And I decided to just scatter around a bunch of flowers everywhere. I got to the point where I added too much and then started taking some away, which wasn't always a good thing, but, you know, I mean, it's a little bit of decoration. Adding some end rods with the mushrooms on right there, and then, you know, scattering around some leaves just to fit the vibe that we're going for. And more of a lush area is exactly what we went for here. So, yeah, I'm really happy with the way this turned out, and I hope you guys like it. Right then, let's do a bit of a shaders tour of what we've got so far. This is miles different in comparison to what we started with at the very start of the episode. So starting from the very bottom, which you guys saw at the start in the first time lapse, at least the first, no, the first one was the dirt mining one. This is the flower section going into a very overgrown, flowery, grassy forest. We've got some details outside the super smelter here to symbolize the smelting. We've got the coal and we've got the logs. We've got the little pumpkin patch here around the edge of the path, just so it feels more accessible, I guess. Got the log pile out the front here. We've got the path a little bit merged in with the terrain there. I'm still yet to do this bit of the terrain around the logs. I haven't finished it yet, but this bit will get done before the end of the episode. And then I need to work on this here. Was going to do the bench and the lamppost, but I got distracted with detailing everything here. So since the time lapse, I've actually textured the trees with the azalea leaves as well, because I originally used oak and I wanted to add that little bit of extra texture and detail and interest to the leaves. So we added the azalea bushes, got all the 2 tall flowers at least placed somewhere here. Where's the peonies, actually? Oh, they're there. I thought I placed more. I've got some peonies around the back there. Got the leaves in the floor, which look really cool. They don't really look that good on shaders because they're waving. It doesn't look real, but outside the shaders they look really nice. Got the sweet berry bushes growing. Why can't I jump up here? I am in a sweet berry bush. Never mind. Went for a really lush vibe with this one. I hope you guys like the details that we added here. This is the type of stuff that I'm going to try and go for in all the blank spaces. I'm going to try and just do very little detail here because I want this to be, you know, at least like usable, if that makes sense. I want it to look like an actual bench, like somewhere you'd go and sit to enjoy the view of the trees over there. And then eventually, once I get to texture in the cliff sides over there and have some more trees up on there, it will look really, really good, I think, from this angle. So it's just a slow work in progress. It's a bit of a story, the way we're going to be doing this from now on. And I really, really like it. In fact, let's take a fly over from this side and have a look at it from here. Yeah, there's huge difference down there already. I'm actually going to change the top of my starter house. I'm going to get rid of the moss and maybe mix some crimson and mangrove in for the roof there, just to add that bit of color, because I feel like around here there's way too much green going on. In fact, before I do that, let me know in the comments if you think that's a good idea, or maybe even give me a different palette that we could use for the roof. Preferably one with stairs and slabs, but yeah, let me know in the comments. And just a quick look without shaders, that's what it looks like. And the leaves actually look tons better without shaders. The ones in the floor, because they're not waving around and stuff, it just looks like a little bit of overgrown grass on the texture pack that I've got. For those that are wondering, I use Whip's resource pack. I did ask you guys at the start of the video to let me know if I should continue using this resource pack, because I know some people just like the standard vanilla stuff, which is perfectly fine. I mean, it is still vanilla, but it's added vanilla, if that makes sense. All the different textures for the flowers, like alliums, for example, here and here, don't look like this. Neither do the lily of the valleys. But yeah, a lot of the flowers and nature stuff look really, really nice on this. So let me know your thoughts, and I will read through the comments before the next episode
and I will get it adjusted for those that don't want to see me use it. This next bit, I'm just going to build on camera just so you guys can see the process and the thought process behind what I'm doing here. Because I know when I watch other YouTubers, I'm like really interested in how they do stuff. So I think it might be a really cool idea for me to do something similar. Okay, let's start this off. I want the lamp to be more towards this side. So just going with a very standard design here, we're going to be using the cobblestone wall. We're going to be going up 3 fences, and then we're going to place a redstone lamp with a daylight sensor there. And is that turned on? It is. So let's turn it that way so it comes on at night. And then let's add some trap doors around this. I don't know if I like the spruce trap doors. I'm going to switch that out for oak probably. So now the lamppost is in place. I want to try and work on some benches, and I don't know if I'll go with spruce stairs actually. Let me change this. I'm going to see what this looks like with the oak, and I'm going to have to try and get rid of some of these. I need to texture a bit more moss in, I think. Which I will do eventually. Actually, while I'm here, I'm going to quickly texture these because I don't think they look that impressive, or at least interesting. Let's just quickly go ahead and do this and then do the same on this. And you can see how much of an impact it makes on the bushes itself. Just adding a few extra of the azalea leaves in there. It looks really, really nice. And then I'm going to add some into the floor. As you can already see, that looks better than that. Okay, that'll do for now. This is only going to be a very basic design, I think, because this is the one I think most of us know. But we're going to be doing this, and I feel like adding, I don't know, I feel like there's a little detail I can do on the back here, which might look nice. I'm going to try something. I don't know how good this is going to look, but I'm just thinking for the headrest kind of thing. What if we was to add... No, it doesn't work. Never mind. I didn't think this through. Technically, we could do it with the oak trapdoors. So let's just do that, flick them up, and then let's go ahead and do that. Does that look... That doesn't look that bad. I don't know. Wait, you know what? I got a totally different idea. Let me try something. This might look a little bit silly, but what if we can use campfires as the bottom of the bench like this, so it's a little bit more indented, and then we have the trapdoors acting as the headrest or the back of the bench. That looks so much better. And for a little bit of detail, let's mark out where we want some kind of shelter to be. So that's probably going to have to be replaced with that. And then we'll go one behind it here as well. Or maybe we go this side. So let's replace this again with dirt. I really don't like how they're connecting, so I'm going to replace that for a slab. Same with this one. And then I'm going to try and connect these up via fence gates just like this. And then what if we add the campfires on top of it as some kind of like cover? This might look a little bit strange, but bear with me. And then just every so often, this is going to hurt, but every so often we do this. Okay, that looks decent. And how does that look? Oh, that looks really good. I feel like I want to replace some of the campfires with leaves just because I feel like it'll just add that little bit of detail. And I'm going to try and do it in some kind of vine way. You know what? I think we've nailed that near enough. That's pretty good. Let me know what you all think in the comments of this. I think we've done a really good job. I think it's a little bit overdone here. Let me get rid of that and then that. Now let's start this again. I didn't like the way that was. That's better. There we go. I know I didn't get everything done in this episode, but next episode we will continue working our way around until we've finished all the little details and blank spaces. Thank you for watching today's episode, and I will see you guys in the next one.